Hey, we are here at Pioneer Theater Company.
And we are here to see the Tony Award-winning musical, Once.
Have you ever heard of the song Falling Slowly?
Yeah, that song's from this show, which actually started as an indie movie.
And then became a Broadway musical in 2012.
And actually went on to win the Tony Award for Best Musical.
Once it's played all over the world, and now it's playing here in Salt Lake City at Pioneer Theater Company.
It'll be playing here in town through March 2nd.
This is a story about a guy and a girl who help discover each other's talent and love.
Setting them on a path that will change their lives forever.
This has an incredibly talented 14-member cast.
They not only act, but they sing, and they all play instruments, some of them more than one.
This has a very minimalist set.
Primarily set at a pub in Dublin.
And that is exactly the kind of music you're going to hear when you see this show. It's that Irish pub, beautiful folk music.
It's amazing. In fact, there's this awesome moment when the show starts, so don't be late. Don't walk into the theater late, you'll miss it.
What's your favorite song?
For me, I actually really love the song Gold. The song is sang in the show, but there's also this amazing reprise of it that's just like, I would try and describe it to you, but I'm gonna ruin it, so just go see the show. But of course, Falling Slowly as well.
Yeah, that's definitely my favorite song. We have that on repeat. We actually even sing it at our house. This album, which won the Grammy, it is on repeat in our car all the time as we're driving. There's so much talent. I can't believe that these people could do that many things.
Even if you're a person that doesn't like this show, doesn't like, the style of music, doesn't like the staging, whatever it is, just seeing people being able to act, being able to sing, being able to play instruments, and to do it with such an awesome story at the same time. This was actually not just the Tony Award winner for Best Musical, but it also won the Tony Award for Best Book as well, so there's something going on here.
How many times is this for you?
Let's see, 3 times on Broadway.
Yeah, you've got me beat. This is just my second, so.
I love me some Once. And we're gonna go in and check out the show now. While we do, you guys check out this interview with the 2 lead actors from Once.
Before this, I did a show called Jersey Boys at Ogunquit Playhouse, and before that, I was on Broadway in A Bronx Tale, the musical, based off of the movie. Yeah, and then I've done some other regional shows and did the Cats National Tour, the Elf National Tour. Well, I've been auditioning for Once for a while now. Kind of walked in and sang and played The Hill, which is in the show. I actually messed up and was like, can I please start over? And they're like, yeah, of course, it's fine. It was so nice. But yeah, so I got the call, I think it was just a couple of days later that I got an offer.
Strangely enough, this is actually my dream role. So that is cool. It was been a long saga of chasing after the show and whatever else, and this was the first time I got to audition for the show. I remember seeing Once the year I moved to New York. I saw it for free the first time, and then I paid to go see it by myself another time, and then I took someone else another time, and then I saw it a 4th time. And it just I was going in for the open calls, and I was trying to get in, and they really liked me, but never called me in. And there was actually no Black person who ever played the role while they were in the run on Broadway. So getting the opportunity to even audition was kind of wild, and then once I found out, it was a lot. It was a overwhelming feeling.
It's so beautiful. It's this beautiful, heartbreaking love story that is centered around this insanely beautiful music. I keep saying beautiful, but that's all that comes to my mind. Is just the story is so wonderful, and I think everyone can relate to it, whether they're an artist themselves or not.
Beautiful, tragic love story at the same time. I was heartbroken, every time I saw it, but also just filled with love and empowered and encouraged by love from seeing it every time I saw it.
I think that's kind of why it's called Once and why we're called Guy and Girl, because it's not specific to these people and it's not about our names and this and that. It could happen anywhere at any time to any person.
I think it depends on where you are in your love story of your life and where you are in, in your relationship status of life, within love, within yourself, within all of those things. And I think it does a beautiful job of touching on it while also, kind of leaving you to be like, there's hope in love, but it's not always perfect, and it's not always the roses and the Valentine's Day that we hope it to be, but you can be encouraged by love in a bunch of different ways, and I think that the show beautifully shows you that.
Well, we are all actor-musicians in the show, so you're going to see every single person on stage playing the music, which is not, it doesn't happen very often. We are the orchestra, we are the actors, we do it all. Everyone is so talented. I mean, there are some people in our show that play 6 instruments. You've got to come see once at Pioneer Theater. We open February 15th, we run through March 2nd.
I think we made something really beautiful. Our director, Perron, has done a phenomenal job. This cast is phenomenal.
It is a beautiful, beautiful show. You're going to be very upset if you miss it.
All right, guys, so we just barely finished Once here at Pioneer Theater on opening night.
For me, my number one good thing I liked about the show, I really liked the girl who played Girl, Hillary Porter. She stayed, her character, she stayed in there so strong the whole time. Her accent was great and her voice was really sweet. There was something that really drew me to her, and I really couldn't keep my eyes off her.
This role itself has a lot of really solid, like, dry humor one-liners, and she delivered them wonderfully. She was awesome.
I'm check.
I think my number one was definitely the set of this show. This staging of the show is a lot different than previous versions that I've seen, or I guess just the Broadway or the tour version of the scene. And I was a little concerned about that. I was a little worried about how it would go, but I actually really liked the way that it was made. I thought it was neat. It was all inspired by guitars or pianos, and it just kind of echoes the themes of the show throughout. So I thought the set was neat, and I thought it was fun to see some new parts of this world that they create with Once brought to life.
Yeah, I agree. I was expecting, we even said at the beginning, we thought it was going to be really minimal, and then I was surprised, so I thought it was cool.
Yeah, and it's still very minimal, but I think they did elaborate upon it a little bit, which was pretty neat to see. What was your number two?
My number two, I really liked the choreography. You know, you would think it would be really hard to show dancing and movement when people are stuck playing instruments, but you know, there was somebody with a cello moving around, and the way that they were so timed together, moving around and with every movement, I thought it was really well done.
Definitely.
What about you?
I think for my number two is just overall, I really, really liked Roderick Lawrence. He was the one that played Guy. Again, in this show, they don't really have a name that they echo. It's kind of leave it open so that it fits to any girl or any guy. But his voice was just wonderful. I really loved what he did with the part. He kind of started out timid, and I wasn't really sure how it was going to be. I was a little concerned. And then he really warmed up and really grew on me. I can't tell if that was an artistic choice that he was making to do that as he goes, or if he just kind of found some comfort in the role, but he was a lot of fun. I really loved watching him evolve over the show. And I got to squeeze in one more person in there, and Billy, the guy who played Billy, Chris Blissett. I'm not sure how to say your last name, but he was hilarious. So much fun.
Couldn't stop laughing with him.
He just carries some of the parts of the show that maybe like you're processing what's happening between girl and guy, and he did so well with it. I had a lot of fun watching him, a lot of great one-liners, and he just owned it.
So your last good kind of brings up my opportunity. It's funny, I'm really torn on this one because Guy, I was having a really hard time believing him. I felt like his accent was kind of in and out, and I just was really having a hard time connecting. But by the second act, I honestly was like mesmerized by him. Like, I thought his voice was so strong. He really came into the role. So I don't know if it was just an opening night thing or, like you said, an artistic choice, but it's funny. Yeah, first act, not as much. Second act, I was like, please keep singing to me.
Definitely. So that brings us to opportunities. I think my opportunity overall is when I've seen this show before, or if you listen to the cast album, the musicians on the cast album, the playing of the instruments and the singing, it's all just really, really sharp and on point. I mean, some of the best, like, well-timed, just in-sync musicians that I've ever seen play. And I'm not saying that they did a terrible job because they didn't, but there were a few times where they were definitely out of sync. That's definitely my opportunity with the show. I understand that it is an amazing, amazing feat to have live musicians on the stage that are singing and acting and playing their instruments, but there's just a few times where that pulled me out of the show. And under normal circumstances, I wouldn't have even thought twice about it, but I just remember seeing this previously and having the musicians so on point and so sharp. And so the contrast between that was just a little bit different for me. So that's definitely my opportunity overall. But like I said, they were still so much fun to watch. But I would have loved to just have that same razor sharp in syncness that I've found previous times I've seen the show.
So I don't think we could end this vlog without giving credit to the cast. I thought in the second act when they sing, the reprise of Gold and it's a cappella.
Yeah.
Ooh, tingles all over.
If you don't come
all
to
over
this
the
show
body.
for any other reason, come for the reprise of Gold.
Yeah, it's one of those songs that you just like. I immediately just like wanted to grab Bobby's hand. I'm like, this just makes you feel good, and to have that many people singing a cappella, they sounded great together. They were in sync together. Just beautiful.
It really is beautiful. There's nothing happening. It's everything stripped away. It's just this beautiful moment, and it's one of those moments that like easily in the top 3, top 5 moments in musical history for me. I just love that part.
Yeah. I also can't leave this vlog without telling a little story because this show is a little close to my heart. Were we dating or were we engaged at that time?
I think that was the trip that we were engaged because we were taking photos.
Yeah. Okay, so we were in New York City. We had been engaged a few months. He took me to see Once. It was my first time. And in New York, when you go see Once, they would let you go up on the stage and you could buy yourself a drink, and it was really cool.
Yeah.
But we went up there. He took me into the middle of the stage, dipped me, and kissed me. And then when we got back to our seat up in the balcony, the person next to us was like, "Was that you?" Like, "Oh, that was awesome." So, yeah,
I mean,
this show is special.
When else are you going to be on a Broadway stage and be able to do that? So it was really
It's
neat
true.
to just kind of walk up into the pub and have that experience. So yeah, fun story, right?
And this is definitely, you know, musical theater is kind of like the background of our life and our relationship, and it's just fun to have memories that are tied to every show that we see.
Definitely, it's funny. It's just kind of like the building blocks of our story and stuff like that, and how many shows are kind of woven into our relationship that way. And this is definitely one of those shows. So, but we had a lot of fun seeing Once here at Pioneer Theater. If you haven't had a chance to see the show, definitely check it out. Find some tickets, come and see it. It's one of those shows that just sticks with you. And the music, it's so funny. We were walking out, and so many people are like, "I've got to get that album. I've got to get that album. I'm going to listen to that on the way home." That kind of thing. So, just so much fun. Such great music.
We had a great time tonight.
We had a great
Good
time.
show. It's playing here through March 2nd
Yep.
in Pioneer Theater here in Salt Lake.
If you haven't already, go ahead and drop a like on this video and definitely subscribe.